Welcome to the Cedric Live Show. Our guest today is Nisha Kalema.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you how I saw this lady, how I met this lady, how I was introduced to this lady. Nisha Kalema won 12 awards at the recently concluded Uganda Film Festival. I have never seen anything like that in my life, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, were there no other movies in this whole republic? 42 million people, and she won 12? But you know what? I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, Nisha, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cedric.
It's nice to have you. It's an honor for me to have you on this show.
I'm honored as well.
I don't really know what to say. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I watched your movie.
Okay. Interesting.
Right? I watched your movie, right? And I've had the good fortune, first of all, of making a movie.
Okay. So you know how hard it is.
I know how hard it is.
Right.
Right? And then and actually delivering it to the big screen. Yeah. We were actually nominated in the best category of Best TV Series at the Africa Magic Awards in 2017.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we lost to some Nigerian
Of course,
show.
there's no way you
of
can
course,
remember
because
that name.
there's 80 million of them on TV. There's only like 1 million in Uganda or something. I stand to be corrected. So last night, I watched your show. And I'm going to be really honest with you, right? When the show started, I was sitting there and I was actually watching it with my fiance. And I said to myself, here we go again. Ugandan movie. They're starting with swag. They've got the little office. They have, the high heels walking down the street. This is going to be your typical, just nonsense. But you know what? I had to interview you today. So I had to keep watching, right? So I kept watching. And I watched. And I watched. And I watched. And let me tell you something. By the time I finished watching that show, I had sent my fiance a love poem. I was looking for my mother.
Wow.
I was thinking of my kids.
Great.
And when I went to bed, I said a prayer. Wow. Right? That's what happened to me after your show. And this is not even a lie. Okay? And I said that, I just said, this is the best thing I've watched on Ugandan television for a long time. So congratulations on your 12 awards. And I'll tell you what, they should have given you the whole night. Not just the 12 awards.
Well, it's like I took the whole night, so there was nothing left.
You're not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say that. Right? But listen, it was a fantastic show. Veronica's Wish. You guys, if you ever get the opportunity to watch it, watch it. So Nisha.
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask about you.
About me?
First of all, how did you get into this? No, first of all, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
Where am I from? Wow. I was born in Kawempe, but I grew up in Nankulavia. So, see, I'm a ghetto kid.
Well, I don't know.
Something like that. I joined the movie industry in 2014, November, around there. Yes. It was something like a joke, like I don't have a lot to do. My best friend tries to join the industry and I'm like, okay, let me escort her for today. I don't have anything to do. So she gets there, she does the audition and she didn't go through. Oh, actually she went through, but they wanted me also to audition and I wasn't ready. So I gave it another month and then I went back and I auditioned. When I auditioned, I got the role. Okay. And from there, the first movie I did, that was The Tailor, I won Best Actress. And I was like...
On your first go?
Yes.
You won Best Actress?
Yes. 2015. And I was like, okay, maybe this is possible. I think I actually understood that I'm an actress after holding that accolade. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I am the Best Actress of this year.
This is at the Uganda Film Festival?
Yes. And then from there, that same role, I won Best Actress with the Riverwood Assemble Academy in Nairobi. Yeah. The same role. And that's when it started, things started going so fantastic for me. And I'm like, I need to get serious with this. So I started doing, now the next project I did, which was Freedom, I still won Best Actress. Yeah. So it reached a certain point when I'm like, this is good. Unfortunately, I didn't get time to embrace the talent, embrace the industry. I was out there so fast, and everyone thought I was an expert at everything when I was just learning. I didn't get chance to grow. I was just I was there, and I don't know, like whoever you ask, they'll think you're the expert.
Well, I mean, if you win 12 awards, what do you expect? Some people are gonna say, you are an expert.
Well, it's not exactly like that. Sometimes it looks like luck. Before you know you're actually good at something, it looks like luck. So you need to grow, you need to learn. But if the people are asking for info, for knowledge, they're like, you're the best. They're like, what do I do now? That's some of the challenges I started with.
Did you go to school? Did you go to writing school? Or because I read, when I was reading the credits, you produced the show, you wrote the show, and you were the lead actress in the show. And you did the casting. So you cast yourself.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, okay, well, it says you're the caster.
Okay, I did, but I didn't.
But I mean, did you go to a film school? Did you go to I was reading your bio, something about Buganda
Royal Institute.
Buganda Royal Institute. What is that?
I did journalism there.
Journalism?
Yeah. So I'm a journalist by profession. You never know, I might take your job actually.
I'm not a journalist.
Well, you're doing one of our jobs.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I'm here to Cedric Live is here to I suppose inspire.
Exactly, that's what I'm doing.
People like you are the ones who give us that inspiration. I'm not interrogating you, by the way, because I'm just talking about things that you have. So
with the, yes, I went to school, but for different things. As I said, I went for journalism. But how I learned these all writing skills and stuff. With the producing part, the company I started with, Limit Productions, they gave me wings to fly in so many departments, like directing, producing. I just didn't know by then that it was producing.
Yeah.
So I started off there, and I learned all the basic things there. And when it came to writing, I started taking workshops from Uganda Film Festival. Those workshops they usually have annually.
You've done a good job, huh?
I know.
Because
but people are not taking it seriously.
Like when we were shooting Beneath the Light, I didn't even know. Believe this, I didn't even know the Uganda Communications Commission did anything about film. And a few months later, I was sitting there and I received this email about exhibiting at this Uganda Film Festival. And I was like, hold on. You mean there's a film festival in Uganda? So I went to them and they gave me some support to go to the Africa Magic Awards, which, is great. They gave me support. It doesn't matter how little or how much. Yeah. So it's good to know that they helped you with your skills. And
yeah, it's there, but people are not using that opportunity while it lasts. I have a feeling soon from today, it will not be there. You can learn editing, you can learn cinematography, you can learn writing skills, you can learn literally anything. But people are there seated, they're waiting for them about to be paid to go and do that. I don't know. And for free. So I took the chance. That was 2015. I took a beginner's class. From there, I kept on doing more workshops. I went to Nairobi for, Shonda Rhimes had a workshop in Nairobi for writing.
Shonda Rhimes as in Scandal.
Yes,
Olivia Pope.
yes, that woman.
She was in Nairobi.
Yes.
You tell her she should respect herself. She should come to Uganda.
She was in Nairobi. She had a workshop for almost
We have
a
better
month.
fruits.
And I couldn't actually afford the workshop, but I found my way into that workshop. And I took my time. Whatever I learned from there is what I used to create Veronica's Wish.
Yeah.
Because it took me almost a year creating Veronica's Wish.
Creating as in writing or?
All together.
Or writing, producing,
yes,
filming,
yes.
shooting, everything.
Yeah.
So you tell me you didn't have any money. I mean, what was your inspiration? Because when I watched the movie last night, right, and I went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, right, and you had me feeling all sorts of ways. But okay. I'm just saying that, from what was your inspiration? What made you write a movie like that? Because it's sort of there's so many plots in there, and I'm going to let you speak about it. But what was your inspiration?
The main story of Veronica and Michael. It's based on a true story.
Is it?
Yes, it is based on a true story.
You should say that at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, I do, based
No,
on
you
a true
don't.
story.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have to watch it again.
Yeah, you should.
And I will. I promise you.
I
I'm gonna
know,
watch
I
it
know,
again.
of course I know, but it's a based on a true story. It happened to someone I know. And the fact that our healthy facilities are not exactly the best with cancer right now.
Yeah.
So it kept on happening. And how she found out she went to India to actually find out that she had leukemia and it was at a late stage.
Yeah.
So that it inspired me in a way that it will not only happen to her. So many people are suffering. So many people don't even know that they are victims of cancer until the last stage. Yeah. So I was like, I'm an artist. We are like prophets in a way. What do we do for society at the end of the day? So I was like, you know what? This is something that can do a lot, that can change people's lives. So I sat down and I created Veronica. Well, there is some fiction in it, but the backline of the story is based on a true story. Then Frank and Bankia are there to spice up the mood.
They're fantastic. You must tell Malaika and Simon that I really enjoyed their parts. You know?
And their brother and sister, if you didn't know. So
in real life?
In real life.
Seriously?
Seriously. I was also surprised. I call everyone, I made my cast, and they tell me we can't kiss because he's my brother. She's my sister. I'm like, are you for real? They're like, oh God, I wish someone was in my shoes right there.
No, but they were great together.
But yeah, so I couldn't change. I just had to change the script a little bit, and it was still fantastic. But I had to keep my cast. You can't even tell on screen that they're siblings.
No, you can't. They look completely different.
No,
I think they were born in two different generations.
No, they told me this is what we've been doing for ages. We grew up rehearsing this. This is what we are doing. So they grew up like that.
So you didn't draw from your personal experiences because it was a friend of yours was diagnosed late in her in the stage at later stages of her cancer and wasn't able to actually recover, and she passed away. And she had a love interest, and they got married, and
they didn't get married in the real story. This was just a fairy tale in a way. Yes, something that can sweep you off your feet.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I loved the show. I think it was a fantastic movie, and I think that the first thing that came to mind reminded me of 12 Years a Slave with Lupita, and looking at her the first time and thinking to myself, she looks a bit different from everybody else. And she's a bit different. Yeah. And that is actually what ended up winning her an Oscar. She's different, and I think that what you did with Veronica's Wish is different. It's arguably the best movie I've seen in Uganda.
Okay, keep talking.
I hope that you're going to get it out there, get it out to all these people so they can wish. But we're going to cut to commercials. We're going to come back and we're going to keep speaking to you about yourself and about Veronica's Wish.
Amen.
And is it Wishes or Wish?
Wish. Veronica's Wish. Yes.
And your future plans. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. I'm still here with Nisha Kalema, the producer, writer, director of this blockbuster. It's going to be a blockbuster, Veronica's Wish. And we're here talking about film. We're here talking about her life. Everything that we could. You know what? I actually think that you're going to be a superstar.
Amen.
Right? And you should. Have you entered this show into festivals and things like this? And
we're working on it now.
You're working on it now?
Yeah.
And when does it go to the cinemas?
It's supposed to be Jan, just that a few things are not yet in line with how I like them. But it might be Jan, for sure.
Might be Jan.
Yeah.
Great. So tell me, how did you choose the cast? What was your motivation behind? Okay, I know there's 4 main characters. There's yourself. So I pretty much understand how you chose yourself. Right? Then there's Malaika.
What makes you think I was sure that I would do the role?
Well, I'm not sure, but since you wrote it and produced it, I'm making an assumption that you were judge and jury. So I'm just going to make an assumption. So I did the same thing myself. Don't worry, Beneath the Lights. Yeah, so it's okay. I didn't have to pay myself. It was cheaper. So you have yourself, you have Simon, who's Frank in the show, right?
Yeah.
Then you have your interest, your love interest. Yes. And Malaika. You know, I think, and then of course your on-set mom. What's her real name?
She's called Allen Musomba.
Oh, you made her cry a lot in that movie.
Did I?
But she made you cry too. So I guess
I felt like she needed a little bit of some beat up so that she can cry more.
So tell me, tell me about the movie. Tell these people on the Cedric Live Show, what's Veronica's Wish about?
Yes, Veronica's Wish. It's a lovely film. What makes it lovely? It's everyday life. Two lovebirds. They met in high school and now they have been together for a long time. They are like, their dreams are in line. Everything is in place. They're about to get married. Everything is good. They have money. They are educated. Everything is in place. But simply because the most important part of life, which is health, was not taken care of, their dreams fall apart. Their lives take drastic turns. But Micah and Veronica have now, they're in position to choose whether to go with the love or to save people's lives. Because after all, now there is nothing that can be done about Veronica, but there are so many other people that are in Veronica's shoes. Yeah. So what can you do to help those? So many people confuse what's Veronica's wish, but her wish is that. The day she wakes up and goes to the radio station, that's her wish. And she's calling people to respect her wish. We are all more concerned about so many other things. And we talk about cancer, how it's killing people every day, how my mother died of cancer. What are you doing about it? There is only one thing you can do. For now, we don't know how to cure cancer, except go check, go screen for it. The earlier you do it, the better. If you don't know what's wrong with you, you don't know what to treat. But if you sit and wait until you get ill and sick, then we'll just bury you before you even say the word, I have cancer.
So basically the movie is centered around creating awareness
definitely.
And prehab as opposed to rehab. So, you know, you're asking people to go and check themselves regularly.
Yes.
Make sure they're fine, have the screens. Yes. But in the movie, you did that.
Yeah.
You did have the checks. Initially, you thought, well, I won't spoil it for everybody, but initially you thought that whatever. And then that changed. And then, eventually you found out, you had to go far away to find out that your character had cancer.
Yeah.
So
I put that for two reasons.
Yeah.
For starters, to stay on the same line as the original story. And two, for the government to wake up and see that we have only one cancer machine, whatever, in Mulago. And some months back, they said it had a malfunction. So how do you tell me the only machine we have in the country doesn't work?
So is that was sort of, you emphasizing that you have to go really far away?
Yes,
to find the problem.
Even the government to see that people are suffering, even those who try,
but
they're not in the right
in the
hands.
Private hospitals, there's only one.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
How many people can afford private clinics?
Not very many.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So you're talking about the public facilities in Uganda.
Exactly.
There's only one cancer machine that has malfunctioned. So today, if you're sitting in front of the president of Uganda and you're looking in that camera, what would you say to the president of Uganda?
I'll just tell him one thing. We all can't afford to go to India to know what's wrong. We all can't afford the treatment which is abroad. So bring the treatment to people. There's so many people who are suffering there who cannot afford anything those privileged people afford. So what is the government doing about it? I, the artist, have done what I can to make the people know, to bring that information to their tables. What is the government doing? That's all I'm saying. So they have to check themselves as well. That's what I'll tell him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll hear you.
I know.
And I'm sure somebody will hear you. And,
definitely.
And something will be done. I'm sure the Ministry of Health want to know.
They should.
I think sometimes it's a case of priorities, but listen, we're trying to build this country, slowly but surely.
And everyone has a role to play.
And everybody has a role to play. And yours was creating awareness. Yes. So, I mean, you say you didn't have any money to make this movie.
Yes.
How did you make this movie? Because I'll tell you why. Why I'm asking. When I shot Beneath the Lies with Nana, Nana Kaga, she was my co-producer in this, and you know, we struggled, you know, to raise money, and you know, we consider ourselves to be a bit more fortunate than others. But how did you find the money to actually make this movie? Because I know that's the biggest challenge.
Yes, definitely.
And it's going to lead me to my next question, but how did you find the money?
I had half the money to make the film.
Yes.
I raised that before I even started saying I'm going to make a film. It
Yes.
was for something else, and I decided to divert it to something else.
Yes.
So I had half the money. Then I get a co-producer who 2 days away from the shoot disappeared, couldn't pick my calls, and he had not given me the check yet. So that's the part where I had to decide that should I
Whether you go forward.
yeah, and then everyone is already there. We've done the rehearsals. People are paid, but I don't have the money now to move forward. So this is when I started talking to people, like how I can get to equipment, how I can get that. I'd already gotten all the locations myself. I knew I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to do most of the things myself, like getting the locations ready, doing the casting. I'd already written the script. Producing wasn't hard for me because I'd produced before. I get a director. I tell her what I want.
Who's the director again?
She's Rehema Namfuka.
Yes, I saw her on the...
Yes. So I get her, I tell her what I want. And no one actually knew that I was struggling with finances. I just kept on dealing my dirty games behind the cameras. And it worked out. It worked out. People I went to, some helped, some didn't. Some actually regret that they wish they helped right now. And I thank God that I actually made the right team, because the people I worked with, I do not regret working with them.
That's fantastic. It's a great story.
Yeah.
So what happens next?
Now, okay, for now.
How are you going to make this money? Okay, let me be specific. How do you think you're going to make this money back?
Are you asking me on a show? Why would you ask me something?
No, I'm saying, okay, how are you going to get a return on investment? Not necessarily, you know, money-wise, maybe a return on involvement. Do you think that you making this movie is something that is going to give you a return on investment and create an opportunity for you?
Very much. It has already started doing that.
Has it? Yeah, I saw the other day at the film festival.
Besides that, that's like the baby of it.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's like the smallest bit of it. Not at all. Like for starters now, I'm getting I'm getting international premieres for the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie and people have enjoyed it and people are making sure it's seen all over.
Can I come to the premiere?
You're invited if you want to.
You want to? I mean, I have to be invited.
Oh, don't worry, I'll bring your invite.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I will. I had a premiere, local premiere. I don't know if you heard about it.
I did. I saw it, but I was busy in my other job. So
okay.
The job you saw me doing the other day.
That one. Okay.
Giving awards at the film festival.
Wow, interesting. So yeah, we are having more international premieres.
Yes.
And we might have a worldwide premiere in LA. It might work out. Puff is looking into that. I know.
Did you who?
Puff, Pan-African International Film Festival.
I thought for a minute you were saying P. Diddy. I was like, what, Puff? Who?
Oh, Puff.
Yeah. I mean, that works too.
That. Oh,
that works too.
No.
But listen, to be honest with you, I wish you the best. I think it's a beautiful movie. I think you're going to do so well. And, we're here on UBC. We're trying to revamp UBC. Our job is to give platforms to producers, writers, and people in the film industry to come and say what they have to say. And maybe one day even air whatever it is you want to air on UBC, you just call us. And this is what the Cedric Live Show is about. I'm sure you're inspiring to a lot of people, not just young ladies, but to a lot of producers and writers around the world, and actors and actresses. So I hope one day you win an Oscar.
I will.
Yes,
and God is telling me every night.
Yes, you're going to win an Oscar. You're going to be the first Ugandan to win an Oscar if I don't beat you to it. But that's okay. I'll try. And I'm still looking for a part in a movie where I don't have to produce the movie myself.
Don't worry, me, I'll make that part myself.
All right, so we're going to cut to commercials again, and then we're going to come back and carry on with Nisha. And there's a few other people going to join us on the show. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. We're still here with Nisha Kalema, the biggest winner of the Uganda Film Festival, 12 awards a couple of weeks ago. And I'm joined by my old friend, my old boy, Bill Bekunda, who is going to tell us a little bit about his story and how he's building a campaign against underage drinking, or even drinking at all, and drugs. And, Bill's story is interesting, so we're going to get to him. But of course, as superstars are, Nisha is really busy and she might have to leave us very soon. But Nisha, listen,
Yes.
I'm in awe of what you've done in terms of Veronica's Wish. I think myself and the rest of Uganda wishes you the best in everything that you do. And make sure you fly our flag.
Amen.
But I have just a couple of more questions.
Okay.
What is your dream role? Is it as a producer? Is it as an actor? Or is it as a writer?
Well,
because you're going to have to choose one day.
I know. But the thing is this, where our industry is at the moment needs all the help it can get.
Right.
So if I come out as a writer and I get to be the best, I'm not bragging about that. It's just saying that if. And then if I come out as a producer and I still get to be the best, and if I come out as the actress and I still get to be the best at that, then that means I still need to develop this industry in that until someone comes out and that person is good at that. And I leave that to that and I change, I focus on something else until we all grow. Right. But if I sit back and be like, okay, there are other people that can do that, we are not growing because I'm sitting at what I can do better or best. And no one is doing that my way. So at the moment, we are still growing. It's a matter of just waking up in the morning and we're like, our industry is where it's supposed to be. And maybe by then we'll be icons of the industry. Maybe. Yeah.
Just maybe.
Yeah.
We just got to keep trying every day.
Exactly.
Until we get where we want to
get.
Yes. Now, I want you to look at the camera. And I want you to, I know you're good at that. Because I was watching you last night on TV, right?
I don't look at...
actually on Vimeo. But what I want you to do is to tell these young people out there and Uganda as a whole, what you think of the Ugandan film industry and what your advice to young people in the industry would be.
Thank you for the opportunity, Cedric. I love this. Now, my name is Nisha Kalema, as he said. I'm an actress, producer, writer. I did not become this by waking up in the morning and I ran and I'm here. I worked hard, I focused, and I made sure every day I'm driving myself to the dream that I see that others might not be seeing. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to be anything others think it's not the right way of doing things. Just be true to yourself. Just be focused on what you want, and the rest of the world will just bow for you. That's what I believe in, and that's why I do what I do.
So where do we catch Veronica's Wish?
Veronica's Wish is going to cinemas in Jan. Don't forget to catch it up. And your favorite stars, Malaika Nyanzi, Simon Base Kalema, and Mushema Hausen. Oh, he's the other guy you should worry about, by the way.
I should worry about
Yes.
Why should I worry about it?
You know.
Well, again, I don't know what that means, but thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure having you. And like I said, God bless.
Amen.
And take care. But before we go,
yes,
I want to introduce you to someone. What's his name? Your co-actor?
Mushema Hausen.
There's a guy behind you called DJ Cass Baby. So I think DJ Cass Baby can teach your youngster a thing or two about the things for the ladies. So Cass Baby can play you any song you like. What's your favorite song?
Oh, I have so many.
Okay, pick one.
I'm not the only one.
By who?
Sam Smith.
Oh, hear me. This old age,
But first, I have a question.
Oh, he does.
Now I'm worried. Okay. I'm single.
You're single. Okay. Good to know, but that wasn't the question. I wanted to ask you, I get this question a lot as a DJ.
Yes.
So, how exactly would you tell a parent of a child that wants to be an actress or actor? And would you encourage them to do it or say no? Or would you tell them that it's financially viable?
Wow,
or
that's
not?
a beautiful question.
Or do you think it's going to change in future?
I come from a Muslim background. I know that shocks so many people. My mother hates what I do with her guts until the day she saw Veronica's Wish.
Did she see the sex scene? Sorry, I don't know if that's on TV. But, I'm just, everybody's going to see it anyways. So
it wasn't as bad as he claims, but I'm saying this is the big picture. We bring the information we're supposed to bring to the audience in so many ways. Musicians sing, artists draw, and we as actors and actresses or producers or writers, we bring the information to people the best way we know how. If a child is talented in something, as I said, it's okay to be different. If your child is different from what you believe in, that's not a crime. Just develop that child, just motivate that child, just support that child. That's why these white folks are they are focused on what they do, because from the word go, they know what their kids are going to be. They don't force them into becoming soccer players when they're actors. You get what I mean? So it's okay to be different. I understand, and parents have values we are supposed to follow and all that. We are not bad kids, and they will not be bad kids. It's okay to be different as long as you're being truthful to what you're supposed to be doing. Being a bad child or being spoiled does not exactly come from what you do. It's a personality. And that's what parents are supposed to work on, not what kids do. It's okay to be different. That one, I believe in it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show. And you asked for a song.
Yes,
so I think Gas Baby, I probably know the song. I just don't know the artist.
Again.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
Did you play this in your movie?
No, I didn't. I can't. I don't have rights to it.
I'm in front of and then there are bottles, yeah?
Or vodka?
So, no, there was the big bottle of Pepsi. And then there was the big bottle of Ruskaya vodka. And the Pepsi is more expensive than the vodka. Guess what I said? Thank you, Lord. You've brought me to the right place.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. We've just been with Nisha Kalema, but we have another guest in the building, my old friend. We went to school together, Bill Bekunda. I haven't seen you for a long time, man.
And I played tennis because of you.
Yeah.
For as long as it lasted.
Yeah, let's leave that story alone. That's like another lifetime. But I suppose, I hope that it gave you some sort of inspiration.
I'll tell you where I dropped it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So, Bill, welcome to the Cedric Live Show.
Thank you, Cedric. Thanks
for
the invitation. I'm good. I think you can see that.
Yeah, you look good. You look
yes.
good. I've been seeing you on Facebook. I've been seeing that you've been doing a lot of stuff and trying to advocate for a few things.
Yes.
I'm not going to try and tell the story here. When I first saw it, when you started this whole campaign, of course, I was a bit taken aback because I knew you from when we were kids. So when I heard about it, I was like, well, sometimes, you just assume your friends are okay.
Yes.
Even when you don't see them.
Yes.
You don't know what struggles they have. So, when I saw that you had struggles with alcohol, I don't know whether there was drugs involved, but there was struggles with all sorts of addictions. So it was really impressive, to see what you were trying to do. And, I follow you all the time. We like each other's posts. We comment on it, and fair play to you for what you've done. I'm sure you've impacted someone's life. And, the Cedric Live Show really is about inspiring, educating, informing. And, I guess this is the part where you cover all three. A lot of people talk about education, going to school and stuff like that. But, really, we go to school just to learn how to solve problems. The rest you learn informally from your experiences and stuff like that. So tell me, first of all, who is Bill? Tell me, what's your story, man? Where were you born and where do you live and things like that?
Bill is a Muchiga man from Kabale.
Yes.
Very active. My dad's name was Kahiri Mbanyi, which means extremely active.
Yeah.
And I think that explains a lot of what I'm doing, especially with my activity on Facebook.
Yes.
But I think the reason I'm here is because of my alcohol problem,
Yes.
which I developed, which led me to start an underage drinking campaign, Stop Underage Drinking campaign, for many reasons. That when I did my research, I found that my problem stemmed from starting drinking when I was still young. I was still in my senior 2. And the way it started, it was all peer pressure. It was not like I had problems or depression or anything of that kind. It was just, let me have fun.
Yeah, it was
Let
a
me
bit
join the
wild when
guy.
we were growing up, you know.
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
just walking around, drinking local brew and,
Exactly.
you know, that sort of stuff, yeah.
Exactly. So when I found out about that, I said, I have to do something about this underage drinking because people don't understand it. I have to do something as well about reckless use, if I may call it that, which people don't understand, that it is not a choice, it is a condition. And that's who I am, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all drank in school, you know.
Yeah.
But what is it that what was your journey into the darkness, you know, because I know you went to school afterwards in Germany, I think, and then you came back and you traveled again. How did it get so bad?
First, I realized that there was a difference between the way I do it and the way other people do it.
Yes.
Other people had a level of control.
Yes.
I did not.
Yes.
Other people knew when to stop, when to start. Other people knew that if it's going to get me into trouble,
Yes.
I will not do it.
Yes.
I couldn't do that.
Yes.
So I started in my senior 2, and the effects were immediate. I studied in Kabale Preparatory School,
Yes.
one of the best in southwestern Uganda.
Yeah.
And I was the best in the region,
Yes.
not in the school only.
Yes.
There were only 2 people who got 4s for points
Yes.
in
which is-
P7. And I went to St. Mary's College, Kisubi.
Yeah, where we were, yeah.
Yes, where we were. Now, when I reached there, in my senior 1, I remember I used to actually lecture my fellow classmates who used to smoke and drink, because, you know, they start escaping. You see them, you know them, and they're telling you, Bill, let's go, because they know you have some money. Anyhow, when I started in my senior 2, it was not that I felt like I wanted to drink or I wanted to join these guys, but these guys persuaded me that, you know what, just come and see how we are doing our thing.
Do you think there's something to do with the environment? Because I remember coming from, I went to primary school in Kenya.
Yeah.
Never really was interested in having a drink or a cigarette or whatever it may be. But as soon as I went to St. Mary's, I found that there was a lot of downtime and a lack of supervision after a certain point. Like when class ended, between class and prep, there was so much, you know,
Nothing
there was
to
no
do,
controls,
yeah.
you know, and there was no structured sport. You know, luckily for me, I had an exit. You know, I had a place I could go, and I was an athlete.
Yes.
So I had to go and play, you know, to keep my credentials, you know, school. You know,
Yes,
you have
yes.
your bragging rights.
Yes.
But a lot of other people had to go and drink. And sometimes I went to drink too.
Yes.
You know, it's just that I had, as you said, I had a stopping mechanism.
Yes.
You know, that I could stop at a certain point.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe the system, the way the system was, allowed for these sort of indulgences? I know alcoholism and addictions are not specific to Uganda.
Yes.
But the system that we were in allowed for a big margin for error.
Yeah, that is one of them.
Yes.
You know, kids are supposed to be engaged. That is a fact.
Yeah.
If you don't engage a kid, they'll start being creative, and then they are looking for quick ways to enjoy life. You know,
Yeah.
and it's very dangerous, especially today when you have a sachet of waraji or liquor that's cheaper than a soda. The soda is just going to be sweet in your mouth. This is actually going to give you an effect in the brain, and you feel high.
An illusion.
Why would I not go to have fun with the what? That's why I'm fighting for the ban of the alcohol sachets.
Yes.
That beside the point. The environment allowed us a lot of freedom, as you said, without giving us something we have to do. Yes? And that gives you time to choose.
Yes.
A human being is known to want to repeat pleasurable actions. It is not pleasurable to go on the field and sweat. If you're given a condition to do that, say this time it's a must, you have to be there it changes the whole scenario.
Yeah.
But then people believe that no, let the child go there and choose whether to go on the field or choose whether to go and play cards.
Yes.
And the child, remember, at that age, the level of understanding, reasoning, and judgment has just started. Actually, the part of the brain that deals with reasoning and judgment begins its growth at the age of 12, 13.
So tell me about your journey. So you start drinking in essence.
Yes.
What happened? What happens from there?
I started drinking.
Yes.
I started drinking. It became my obsession. All I could think about was the next time I could drink. I started exchanging my grab for liquor, waraji.
At Smack?
Yes. We had a place called, let me not mention it.
It's okay, Mama Teo.
No, Mama Teo was where we used to drink. But
Yes.
then there was someone who had a supermarket at the time in Kampala where we used to take our grab and deposit it. You know, they are still alive and well and around. So
Yes, yes.
I can't mention those things. But we used to go and exchange, and they knew our age, at our age, senior 2. You go and exchange your sugar, your quencher and all that, and they give you booze. Those days, they used not to check the luggage much. You know, it was a by the way. So you'd come in with whatever you come in with. We used to also take it to, you know, behind school. There was a place called Uganda, I think.
Yes, yes, down the road.
After the fish guy.
Yes.
And exchange it for booze. I got the obsession. I enjoyed it. This was, for the first time, I felt happy without any effort. So my grades were affected. I remember I was the 3rd best when I joined Senior 1, the last term. And then when I started drinking, I was the 25th. In my Senior 1, I told you taught me how to play tennis. You didn't intentionally teach me, but I liked the way you and a guy called Victor, Romanyika.
Yes.
I liked the way you guys had competition, and I'm like, man, I have to try. I asked my uncle, he gives me a racket, and I started playing. And I remember the very first tournament, I went to Lugogo for
Yes,
it.
we used to go to Lugogo.
And you know, I picked it up. But when I started drinking, there was no more pleasure in playing tennis anymore.
Yeah.
So I dropped it. By the time I was in Senior 4, the suspensions had come in. Senior 6, I was actually expelled during the examination. It's a long story. I don't think I can finish it here.
Yes.
But I realized, and I knew at the time, I had a problem. But I just didn't know what is that problem. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do about it. I just kept saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to stop.
Did
But
anybody
I
in your
couldn't stop.
family, because now you've been drinking solid for 4 years.
Yes.
You're only a youngster. You're only 17 or 18 years old.
Yes.
Your brothers, your siblings, your sisters, did they know that you drank?
I tried to hide it, but of course, when the suspension comes in, it gets out into the open. And I remember one time I got a lecture, and the rebelliousness in me came out, that I wanted to get back to my parents. So they were seated in there, and I lit a cigarette right outside on the balcony so they could see me smoke. You know, the irrationality of a young man. But yes, I knew it. They started knowing that there's something wrong with this guy. Of course, they knew I was smoking. They knew I was drinking. You can't hide the smell for too long. In my Senior 6, the reason I was sent to Germany was because they wanted me to get away from my friends. They thought it is my friends that are spoiling me.
Yes.
But guess what happens when I got there?
It gets worse.
I just kicked off. You pick a new group of friends and continue. And it actually even got worse, because now I have a different level of freedom. So I failed to start my university there. And then they asked me, since my uncle was a diplomat at the time, they say, why don't you just switch, go study in England? And then, you know, maybe the environment will be better, because here you're putting your uncle's job at risk. And the money they were giving me to make the transfer, I was taking it to the bar. So I ended up coming back to Uganda. My father died. An uncle of mine said, let's take this guy to Russia. Here, the discipline is for World Cup. And they take me. But guess what? I get to a kiosk, day one, I'm in front of, and then there are bottles. Yeah?
Or vodka.
So, no, there was the big bottle of Pepsi. And then there was the big bottle of Ruskaya vodka. And the Pepsi is more expensive than the vodka. Guess what I said? Thank you, Lord. You've brought me to the right place.
So you kept drinking?
It got worse, of course. And you see, I moved from Russia to Ukraine. Those people are tolerant of the problem.
Yes.
They're actually tolerant of things like, when you say someone here is an alcoholic, people have a problem with it. They even fear saying it.
Yes.
There, it is like alcoholic is normal. They even have benches where you sit in the evenings, and some people bring and put alcohol for those who can't afford it. You drink, fall down there, and they'll just be saying, oh, voteta alcoholic. That's an alcoholic, you know, and it's normal, and they'll help you up to where you stay. It is more or less accepted. I remember one of my lecturers he liked me so much. He was like, you are one of us, because I was the one who used to come steaming of vodka in the morning to class. Basically, he made me feel like this is something good to do.
This is the lecturer telling you this?
Yes, that's the lecturer telling me this.
Okay, so from this point,
yes.
At which point and how did you check yourself?
At the age of 22, I said to myself, I have to stop this. I was in Ukraine. And I managed to stop it for about 6 months. I got saved. And I got saved because of a female. You know, she provoked me to go to church. I got saved and actually did stop. But on my birthday, I felt I wasn't happening enough. I wasn't entertaining people enough. And I decided to just, for this day, let me take a little bit. And I went right back. Now the guilt and the shame, I couldn't go back to the saved crew anymore. I just decided to hang in where I was and continue drinking. But I kept saying that I'll stop, I will stop. And I turned 25 still saying the same thing. I remember on my 25th birthday, I said, I will not drink after this. The next day, I said, okay, let me do the final one. And I turned 30 years old. By the time I was 30, everybody was saying there is something wrong with this guy. Actually, I was written off. One of my neighbors actually called me, he insulted me to the maximum level. He said I'm wasted sperm. And you know when they say it in Luganda, for those who speak Luganda, he said it with additional words, you know, like your father should have just poured you in the bed sheets. And, you know, it stung. You know, to know that it stung so much, I live with that statement. I was written off. Relatives, friends had said, you know what, this guy is finished. And I remember that I even used to go and sit at the bar with some of our old boys. And when they see me, the best way was to tell the person at the bar, either we get out and you keep your customer or you tell him to leave. Because they knew what was coming. I'm going to drink, black out, embarrass them, come pick up their drinks from the table and things of that nature. Then I was taken into treatment. I went into rehabilitation.
Here in Uganda?
Here in Uganda.
Where?
It was called Serenity Center. It still exists, but at the time it was still small. It was just beginning. Very few people, and I am taken in, and that was the beginning of my understanding of actually what the problem is. What is addiction? Addiction is the failure to control or stop.
Something.
That's it.
Okay, so you come out and that is when you stopped?
That is when I stopped.
Completely? And ever since then?
No.
You relapsed?
I relapsed. And this is how it happened. I stopped drinking. I started living my life. I started building a base, you know. I started doing filming and graphics. I was actually, I had a company called Run Africa Limited, and I had teamed up with one guy, Josh, and he's still in the business now. And we did some good music videos, you know, for Jamal, for the late radio, and, you know, I was doing weddings and gigs and things like that, but I was so much into documentaries I used to do for organizations and things like that. But then I get married in 2009, and then I want to get rich. And then I meet, you know, now my status is normal. I'm meeting with guys who are making some money, and they're telling me, oh, I say, I want to open a rehab. And they're like, rehab for what? You can put up a hotel. You have a location in a very suitable place. That is Kabale. Tourists, Lake Bunyonyi.
It's a beautiful place.
Yes. Then I'm like, okay, fine, let me start that. And then they're like, if you want to build a hotel, the best way to do it is open a bar. It will clear all your other expenses.
Yes.
And the guy who was from rehab, who knows exactly the fact that I should not expose myself to that kind of environment, opened a bar.
And back again.
And that's it. I relapsed, and for the next 2 years, I then became destitute. I was actually chased from home. I was told, you know, we don't want to see you.
Your wife kicked you out?
My wife, she didn't kick me out per se, but she told me, Bill, please go and sort yourself out. When you're sorted, I'll be here waiting for you. And for those 2 years, and that's recently, by the way, that is 2012 and 2013, my life was totally finished. I was sleeping on a floor which did not have an unfinished floor with some guy, you know, and his friend opposite Auto Spa in Munyonyo. And, you know, the atmosphere was, I had friends who were welders. Those are the guys who used to help me. But they had two groups. There's the group I used to call the Chibuku group, who encouraged me to drink until the owner said, but Bill, you speak good English. You can't waste this. Come and sell windows.
Right.
And then I switched. And then I realized I have to sort my life out.
Yes.
What do? I need to find out the root cause of this. How could I fall? How could I lose 7 years of sobriety over one shot of whiskey? A good whiskey, which I had bought myself. I know it's not Ichichupuli. How could it take me back? There must be something wrong with me. To find out, I find out where it all began. I find out where the biggest problems begin. I found out about the chronic relapsing nature of alcoholism. I drank to a point people thought I was actually using other drugs. Alcohol can actually be so bad.
Just devastating.
Exactly.
So tell me, Bill, I
Yeah.
know, we're running out of time because the show
yes.
is... Now, so you stop again.
Yes.
And ever since, when did you last have a drink?
2014.
2014.
Yes.
And then you started your campaign.
Yes.
And this is the campaign that I see you on
Yeah.
every day.
Where I'm wearing this.
So I want you to tell my people here, the youngsters out there, the people out there in Uganda, what the campaign is about
Okay.
and how to manage their lives a bit better. I think
Okay.
the issue here is some people will never stop drinking,
Yeah.
but I think it's drinking within moderation
Yeah.
and being able to start and stop when you need to stop.
Yes.
So the floor is yours, my brother.
Well, I say to the young people, I say, don't do drugs, don't drink. It's not good for you. Your brain is not yet developed enough for you to be able to drink. That is why it is illegal for a young person under a certain age to drink. So I say, don't do that. And I tell people, my friends, you inclusive, if you see someone who is drinking and has got a problem with it, don't allow it to continue. Don't be the one to continue buying for him. Actually, continue encouraging him to find a way to get help, because we are the ones who enable them to actually continue as opposed to helping them. There are people who can manage and handle their liquor, that let them enjoy it. You see what I mean? But those who can't, those who enjoy it should not allow this person who can't enjoy it mess up their night. Like I would come up and mess up people's life. The campaign is, the latest campaign is, actually I have it here.
Yeah.
I'll just give it here
Have a
to
look.
check it out. I want to take the message out on 100,000 t-shirts and give them to 100,000 teen students. And that's what I'm going to do. It's got the messages of alcohol and drug abuse, but it's more about when you see hashtag SCADA, that is sex, cigarettes, alcohol, and drug abuse. So we are giving them reason not to, we are empowering them to say no to these vices, as opposed
I
to...
choose to refuse.
I choose to refuse. Here it is, choose not to use. Yes. So we are trying to empower them, to tell them that not everybody who is young drinks. We are trying to tell them that when you drink when you're still young, you're most likely to get a problem. We are trying to make them understand the science behind addiction, how it's developed. We are trying to encourage behavioral change, behavioral health, so that you groom yourself, you grow up, do sports, study hard, finish, and then you can do whatever you want to do. That is basically... That's basically what we are doing.
My brother, you've done a good thing. I know it's been a struggle.
Yes, it is.
And, at UBC, we're going to try and help as much as we can.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for giving me the time at short notice to come on the Cedric Live Show. It's every Sunday, 9 p.m. So please tune in to watch the story of Bill and what he's trying to do with the SCADA promotion, which is sex, cigarettes, alcohol, and drug abuse. I choose to refuse. Now, before we go, one last thing.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, we liked music.
Yes.
I remember in SMAC, we were always dancing and things like this.
Yeah.
So what Cass Baby over there is going to ask to give you what song do you want to hear today?
Liquor Slave by Lucky Dube. I listened to that song for the longest time.
Yes.
But I thought it was this South African stuff of, independence, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
But when I actually saw the video and the lyrics, I was shocked to find he was actually talking about alcohol.
Well, it
So-
sounds like a liquor slave, yeah.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Thank you for coming, Bill.
You're welcome.
We just listened to the song. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Cedric Live Show. We'll see you on Sunday on UBC at 9 p.m. Every Sunday from here on. Bill, thanks very much for coming, my brother. Good to see you.